Okay, right into this. We're going to select the background and blur the background, so we've got this nice, beautiful, even tone across there instead of these dark areas and light areas. So let's go straight ahead and take the magic wand. There are many ways of doing this, and this is just one way that we'll look at. You might have to combine the ways, but let's just say up here on tolerance, if tolerance was 1, it selects either one pixel color or pixels as close to that particular pixel color. So if we were to go to 22, it's going to select pixels of the one I clicked and one with a greater tolerance, so it selects more. Now we don't want to have it on such a high setting because it will select too much and start selecting the model when we click near her. So that's what we don't want. So I'm going to go for 8. Let's just try that. Click and then use the shift key to add to the selection. So I'm looking for a pretty rough selection here. This will do, and obviously I'm not going to spend enough time to make it perfecto, but just keep, once you start clicking you just can't stop. Clickety click. A little bit more of an issue around the shoes, but we're not going to, or I'm not going to spend a large volume of time trying to make those. Tootsies look really well. Okay, we could just try that a little bit in there. Yep, looks okay. Alright, back to the move tool. It doesn't, does it? Look, shift key, click in there. Got to be careful, use those eyes. Now what I'm going to do is select quick mask. Now what's red is going to be selected, but I want the model to be red but not the background. So you can see down here and here little red spots. So what we're going to do is B for brush. I'm going to select quite a hard brush, make it a bit bigger, hardness and 100% opacity. So I'm painting on with white and that gets rid of the red. So again, I can worry about the main details later. You know, I could zoom in order to see these dots. But there we go, you get the idea. The next thing is coming out of quick mask, we have a selection. Now what I better do is duplicate this before moving on. And now if I make edit cut, it will just cut the model out. So we need to go to select inverse, and this time edit cut, which I would just use as Command X. There we go. Oh, she's still there, but let's just turn off the background layer and we can see that we have a new layer with no model. But the model, don't forget, is still, when I did edit cut, she is living in the world of edit cut. Whoa. Now we want to blur this background. We're going to do this in a couple of ways. We're going to go to blur, Gaussian blur, at least a couple of hundred. I'm going to try 245 and say OK. Now if I really zoom in, we'll still see a lot of artifacts. One thing that happens in Photoshop when you blur is it can introduce banding and just a whole array of stinky mess. To get over that, we're going to go to noise, add noise, and we're going to replace artifacts really. We're going to actually add noise to make the image look more uniform. So we're looking at around 1%, which is similar to the noise that a digital sensor leaves on an image. Monochromatic, and say OK. It's near bad, it's near bad. But we still have no model. If we turn the background on, that's what we have now. So a nice even blurred background, much better. I'm liking that. But not a model. Now the model, remember, exists in the world of Control X. So if I go to Control, paste, there she is. V, I'm just going to use the arrow tool. Just move her across. Not sure what I did there, if I moved her before I did that. Now because we've made these selections from a background that was almost identical in colour and tone, when we zoom in, it's a pretty good blend. You'll see that there might be, remember we had some difficulty with the shoes down here. Again, I could mask this, or I could zoom it in and paint this out with a brush, or I could take an eraser. You know, we can get rid of some of those elements and just do a wee bit of cleaning up. But on the whole, booyaka. That's nearly as good as one of my mother's Yorkshire puddings. And then I might flatten that, but we're going to stop there for now and then move on and look at some other bits and pieces in the next tutorials.